I'm still an active employee for the government, and hunting cryptids is my line of work. I'm going to continue posting my hunting stories here. I changed the name of my friend from the last story to conceal his identity, as I will do for any others that may be mentioned in my future stories, myself included. After my last post, some people were asking how they could become cryptid hunters like me. I'll be as blunt as I can. Don't. This isn't a good lifestyle. The pay is decent, but the job is very risky. Hunts don't always end well for me. It's actually rare that I come back in one piece. One hunt in particular was almost the end for me. I was clinically dead for 3 minutes before they brought me back. It was my second year working for Redacted as a cryptid hunter. I was in charge of investigating reports dating back to the early 1900s of prospectors going missing in a place called the Nahanni Valley in Alaska. Their bodies were discovered months after they arrived at the valley, each one missing a head. Due to the condition of the bodies, the location was nicknamed the Valley of the Headless Men. Many rumors have been spread about how those people died, each one bearing as much truth as the last. The company was only interested in reports of possible cryptids being the cause. They sent me out to the location with another hunter, Gary. He was my mentor when I was training, although we're roughly the same age. He was with the company for 6 years before I joined. We set out after a massive winter storm had blown through, leaving the valley covered in ice and snow. We spent 3 weeks in that god-forsaken ice pit before we found anything worth reporting. While hiking through the valley, we came across a grove of pine trees. Their branches were weighed down by the thick, wet snow. They bent down to the ground, making natural archways. Our attention was drawn to the red splotches that dotted the spaces between one of the arches. "You see that?" asked Gary. "Yeah," I responded. "Looks like a trail of blood." "Fresh blood," Gary corrected as he knelt down beside the trail. Something caught his eye, and he motioned me closer, asking, "When was the last full moon?" "I think it was 2 weeks ago," I said. "Shit," was all he had to say. Confused, I looked down at what he was trying to show me. Massive animal tracks littered the area. They looked like they belonged to a wolf that was 3 or 4 times the size of a regular one. "Are these from a werewolf?" I asked Gary. "The size is about right. The timing isn't," he said flatly. "Typically, werewolves can only stay in their lichen form during a full moon. A rare few can hold their form for up to 3 days after a full moon. But it's been 2 weeks now, and these tracks are fresh." We both stood and glanced over to the blood trail. I followed Gary further into the tree grove when he stopped abruptly. Up ahead was a pile of decapitated animal corpses. Gary turned to me and opened his mouth to say something when he froze. His eyes widened as he mumbled a single word. "Wahila." My heart jumped into my throat as I scrambled to reach for my rifle. Before I could turn around, I heard a loud growl and felt a sudden, intense, and burning pain rip across my shoulders. I was thrown face first to the ground as something heavy weighed down on me. I felt it making its way up my back. Its front paws came to a stop on my shoulders as a new wave of pain shot through me. I felt its hot breath on my neck as it snarled, causing saliva to drip from its teeth. I heard the sound of a high-caliber rifle going off, and I felt the weight lift from my shoulders. I strained my neck to see and watched as the beast left. Its body was the size of a bear with the shape of a wolf. Its hind legs were shorter than its front legs, and its fur was gray and black. I drew in one more painful gasp, and then everything went black. I woke up in a hospital bed, searing pain screaming at my back and ribs. It was immensely painful to even breathe. I looked around and saw that Gary was slumped over in a chair next to my bed. I winced in pain as I tried to move, which woke him up. "Welcome back to the land of the living," he said with a small grin. "Welcome back?" I questioned. My voice was dry and cracked. "You died." He said this with a deadpan expression on his face before chuckling. I was not amused. He continued, "It was only for a couple minutes. We got you back on the way here. You've been slipping in and out of consciousness for the last 5 days." "What happened?" I asked. "Well," he sighed, "we unknowingly walked into the den of a very aggressive Wahila. I should have known better than to go in without readying my weapon beforehand. I realized what we were tracking once I saw the beast's food pile, but by that point it was too late. I saw the beast right before you were slashed across the back. It pinned you down and was getting ready to chomp your head off. I was able to fire off a few rounds into its head and neck. The beast whimpered and sprinted off into the woods. I don't think I killed it, but I was able to save you at least. I did what I could to stop the bleeding on your back, but the gashes were deep. I could see your shoulder blades and spine. You lost a lot of blood before the medics arrived, and your heart stopped for 3 minutes. They were able to start it again, and broke a few ribs in the process. The doctors said you should make a full recovery, but you'll be bedridden for a few weeks." "Damn, a few weeks? Who's gonna watch over your sorry ass while I'm stuck here?" I joked. The company gave me some time off." He gave a slight smile before his face deepened. "I blame myself for what happened out there. I've been doing this for 8 years now, and I led us right into a death trap. That's a rookie mistake." Gary's brows furrowed as a look of shame started to form on his face. "Don't beat yourself up over this. I knew what I signed up for when I accepted the offer. This is just an occupational hazard." That seemed to cheer Gary up a little. After resting and recovering, I filed my report. The company was pleased to have me and Gary back. They even gave us a little bonus. Gary and I used it to go on a much-needed vacation after a few other hunts. I have a warning for you all. If you ever decide to go to the Nahanni Valley, don't go alone, and make sure you never follow a trail of blood if you see it. 'Cause if you do, you may just end up losing your head.